What if your peaceful, nightly bath is slowly killing you? It sounds outrageous, maybe even impossible. But for millions of adults over 70, the simple act of bathing has turned into a silent health threat. Hidden beneath the warmth, the comfort, the sweet scent of lavender, is a risk that could lead to heart attacks, blood pressure crashes, hormonal chaos, and life-altering falls, and most people have no idea. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on the three most dangerous bathing habits that seniors unknowingly perform every week. You'll discover what doctors now know, what studies confirm, and what survivors wish they had realized sooner. From hot soaks that stress your heart, to night showers that sabotage your blood pressure, to scented bath bombs that quietly hijack your hormones, we're unpacking it all. And don't worry, we're also showing you exactly how to fix it safely starting tonight. But first, let me tell you about James and the bath that almost ended his life. James was 74, a retired mechanic, proud grandfather, and stickler for routine. Every night at 9:30, he'd run a steaming bath, light a eucalyptus candle, and soak for exactly 20 minutes. Until one night, he never came out. His wife found him collapsed on the floor, barely breathing, skin clammy, pulse fading. The bath hadn't soothed him. It had silently pushed his heart to the edge. What happened? At first glance, a hot bath seems like the safest of rituals. The water relaxes tight muscles, eases joint pain, and provides a rare moment of calm. But for adults over 70, that heat, especially when sustained, can quietly overtax the very organ that keeps them alive, the heart. Let's start with what actually happens to your body when you settle into a hot bath, especially one over 104 degrees F, 40 degrees C. The warm water causes your blood vessels to rapidly dilate, which leads to a noticeable drop in blood pressure. To compensate, your heart starts beating faster, sometimes increasing your heart rate by 30% or more. For younger people, this isn't typically a problem. Their hearts are resilient. But for someone over 70, often dealing with arterial stiffness, high blood pressure, or even just reduced cardiac output, it can create a dangerous imbalance between oxygen demand and supply. This is especially risky if the person is also taking medications that influence heart rate or blood pressure, like beta blockers, diuretics, or ACE inhibitors. These drugs limit the body's ability to respond to sudden changes, meaning the dip in pressure caused by hot water may not be corrected quickly enough. The result? Dizziness, fainting, or in severe cases, cardiac ischemia, where parts of the heart muscle don't receive enough oxygen. That can be the precursor to a heart attack. A 2020 study published in the Journal of the American Heart Association found a significant link between prolonged hot water immersion and sudden cardiac death among older adults, particularly in winter months when the contrast between air and water temperatures is more extreme. In Japan, where bathing is culturally significant, an estimated 14,000 people, mostly over 65, die each year from bath-related sudden deaths. Many of them collapse in the tub itself or immediately after exiting it. One reason this happens has to do with thermal shock. Imagine this: you're submerged in hot water, your peripheral blood vessels expand, your core temperature rises, and you begin sweating. Then you stand up. Suddenly, gravity pulls blood downward, and your heart, already working overtime, can't push it back up fast enough. Oxygen levels in the brain drop. You feel faint. Or worse, you lose consciousness completely. This risk is even higher in bathrooms with poor ventilation, where the humidity and heat cause the body to stay overheated longer. Steam doesn't just fog mirrors, it fogs thinking, reaction time, and coordination. Add in slippery surfaces, and even a minor stumble can become catastrophic. But here's what most people never consider. Hot water affects more than just the heart. It alters how your nervous system responds to stress. In older adults, the balance between the sympathetic, fight or flight, and parasympathetic, rest and digest, systems is already more fragile. Prolonged exposure to high heat can tip that balance dramatically, keeping your body in a hyper-alert state long after you've toweled off. This lingering stress response taxes your adrenal system and throws off your natural recovery rhythms, especially if bathing happens close to bedtime. Take Mildred, 77. She loved her nightly hot soaks, convinced they helped her arthritis. But she couldn't figure out why she'd wake up gasping at 2 a.m., heart racing, drenched in sweat. Her doctor eventually connected the dots. That heat exposure was stimulating her heart, not calming it, and the effects lingered hours after the bath ended. Once she swapped hot soaks for warm ones under 100 degrees F, her nighttime symptoms vanished. So how hot is too hot? The ideal therapeutic temperature for older adults is between 95 degrees F and 100 degrees F, warm enough to soothe, but not so hot that it triggers cardiovascular strain. Anything higher, especially for longer than 15 minutes, and you're entering danger territory. Another key factor, time of day. Most seniors bathe in the evening, assuming it'll relax them before sleep. But we'll cover soon why this timing might actually disrupt your entire cardiovascular rhythm. Before we get there, here's something critical. You might not feel the danger coming. The signs like flushed skin, a feeling of heaviness or slight nausea are often dismissed as part of just relaxing. But they are not. They are red flags. And ignoring them could mean the difference between a good night's sleep and a 911 call. Here's the scary part. By the time your heart is showing clear symptoms of strain, it may already be near its limit. And with age, that limit is often far lower than you think. So if your post-bath routine includes sitting down to catch your breath, or if you've ever felt lightheaded walking from the bathroom to the bedroom, your heart might be sending you a message, one you can't afford to ignore, but we're only scratching the surface. Because while hot water can destabilize the heart, what time you bathe can throw off your entire cardiovascular rhythm, even while you sleep. It's 9:45 p.m. You've turned off the TV, brushed your teeth, and stepped into a warm shower, expecting it to calm your mind, loosen tight muscles, and help you drift off to sleep. It's a ritual millions of older adults perform nightly without a second thought. But there's a hidden flaw in this routine, and it's one that could be quietly throwing your entire cardiovascular system out of sync. You see, your body doesn't treat nighttime the same way it treats daytime. At night, it's programmed to slow down. Your blood pressure naturally dips, a crucial process known as nocturnal dipping. For healthy adults, this dip is about 10–20%, giving your heart a much-needed break. But here's the twist. Late-night showers and baths, especially warm or hot ones, can blunt or completely eliminate this blood pressure dip. When this dip doesn't happen, it's called non-dipping hypertension, and it's a red flag. Studies show non-dippers are far more likely to suffer from heart attacks, strokes, kidney damage, and even cognitive decline. One long-term study published in Hypertension found that older adults who lacked nighttime blood pressure dips were twice as likely to experience a cardiovascular event within 5 years. So how does a simple shower sabotage such an essential body rhythm? It begins with heat exposure. Warm water raises your core temperature, dilates blood vessels, and increases heart rate. This signals your body that it's still daytime, delaying melatonin production and keeping the sympathetic nervous system, your fight-or-flight system, active when it should be winding down. Instead of preparing for rest, your body stays in a mild state of alertness. This internal confusion causes your blood pressure to remain elevated longer, even after you've gone to bed. And while you sleep, your heart doesn't get the rest it needs. Over time, this subtle strain builds. It's like forcing your engine to idle in high gear all night long. Now add in the fact that many seniors are on blood pressure medications, which are often calibrated based on assumed normal dipping patterns. If your pressure isn't dipping as expected, those meds may work less effectively or at unpredictable times. This can lead to morning spikes, dizziness upon waking, and even blurred vision, none of which you'd necessarily trace back to your shower the night before. Consider this real-world case. Gerald, 79, began noticing he'd wake up with a pounding heart around 3 a.m. His doctor ran tests, Heart, fine. Lungs, clear. Then one night Gerald forgot to shower and he slept through the night. Turns out his nightly 10:30 p.m. Hot showers were subtly elevating his nighttime heart rate and disrupting his blood pressure rhythm. Once he moved his shower to 6 p.m., his sleep normalized. No medications needed, just timing. The risks don't stop with the heart. When your internal body clock, your circadian rhythm, gets disrupted, it can throw off everything from digestion to cognition. Research has even tied late-night heat exposure to increased levels of cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. This can leave you feeling more anxious, irritable, or mentally foggy the next day. And for those struggling with sleep quality, late bathing might be the hidden culprit. While warm water initially feels relaxing, it delays the natural drop in core temperature that signals your brain to release melatonin, the hormone that induces sleep. If that drop is delayed, your sleep cycle becomes fragmented. You may fall asleep slower, wake up more often, and spend less time in deep, restorative sleep. All of this compounds when you're over 70. Your circadian rhythm is already less resilient. Melatonin production naturally declines with age. Your blood vessels are stiffer, your recovery time longer, and your margin for error smaller. So what's the fix? It's not about giving up your shower. It's about changing the timing. The best window for older adults to bathe is between 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock p.m. This timing allows your body to reap the relaxing effects of the water while still giving your cardiovascular and nervous systems time to reset before sleep. You'll avoid the late-night spikes, preserve your nocturnal dipping, and wake up feeling noticeably more stable and rested. It's also a great time to hydrate, especially if you've had a salty dinner or taken diuretics. A glass of water before and after your bath can help maintain your fluid balance, which plays a huge role in nighttime blood pressure management and fall prevention. And here's one more pro tip. Cool down your environment after bathing. A fan, open window, or even a damp cloth on the neck can help signal your body that it's time to wind down. That small shift in temperature tells your brain, hey, it's safe, it's bedtime. The result: lower heart rate, deeper sleep, and a much healthier cardiovascular rhythm. But bathing timing and temperature aren't the only threats lurking in your nightly routine. What you put in your bath, the bubbles, oils, scents, and soaks, could be quietly wreaking havoc on your hormones, lungs, and even your brain. They promise calm, luxury, a gentle return to self-care. Scented bath bombs, lavender bubble baths, eucalyptus soaks, and creamy shower gels are marketed as wellness must-haves, especially to older adults who crave relaxation and relief. But behind those soothing fragrances is a complex and often toxic mix of chemicals that may be silently hijacking your hormones, irritating your lungs, and increasing your risk of falls, fatigue, and even cognitive decline. Let's start with the word fragrance. It sounds innocent, doesn't it? But in the personal care industry, fragrance is a legal umbrella term, a single word that can represent up to 200 undisclosed chemicals, many of which have never been fully tested for long-term safety. These chemicals are protected under trade secret laws, meaning manufacturers don't have to list what's in them. Among the most concerning, phthalates, used to make scents last longer. These are known endocrine disruptors, meaning they interfere with the body's hormone systems. And for older adults whose hormone levels are already in delicate balance, that's a recipe for chaos. Phthalates have been linked to reduced bone density, thyroid disruption, worsened fatigue, and impaired memory. In postmenopausal women, they may accelerate estrogen-related decline. In men, they are tied to lower testosterone levels and increased inflammation. Then there's synthetic musks, chemicals used to mimic natural scents like sandalwood or amber. These musks have been detected in human fat tissue, breast milk, and even umbilical cords. They accumulate in the body over time and have been shown to disrupt the liver's ability to detoxify other harmful substances. That means the more you use them, the harder it is for your body to recover from other environmental toxins. If you have asthma, COPD, or any form of chronic respiratory sensitivity, scented products are even more dangerous. Why? Because steam carries those fragrance particles deep into your lungs. The result isn't always an immediate cough. It can be subtle, a feeling of heaviness in the chest, mild breathlessness, or what some describe as mental fog. Over time, frequent exposure can lower oxygen saturation during and after bathing, a serious concern for anyone with heart or lung conditions. A 2022 report by the Environmental Working Group, UG, tested over 400 popular bath and body products marketed to older adults. The results? Over 60% contained one or more chemicals linked to hormone disruption, reproductive toxicity, or carcinogenicity. Shockingly, even products labeled as natural or gentle were often full of synthetic additives. But here's the twist few talk about: how these fragrances affect your balance and coordination. Your sense of balance depends on three key systems working in harmony: your eyes, your inner ear's vestibular system, and your brain's ability to process stimuli. Scented chemical exposure, especially in a hot, enclosed space, can interfere with that processing. In seniors, this might show up as dizziness, nausea, or that weird off feeling you get when standing up too quickly. Combine that with already lowered blood pressure from warm water, and the risk of a fall skyrockets. Let's talk about Mary, age 76. She swore by her nightly lavender bubble baths. But over the past year, she noticed she'd feel woozy getting out. She blamed aging or dehydration. After a bad fall in her bathroom, her daughter looked into the ingredients in Mary's bath products. Several contained Lilial, a synthetic fragrance now banned in the EU due to reproductive toxicity. Once she switched to unscented products and lowered her bath temperature, her dizziness vanished. No more falls. There's also a neurological component worth mentioning. Some synthetic scents, particularly those containing neurotoxic solvents like benzyl acetate or styrene, have been shown to interfere with neurotransmitter function. In seniors already dealing with early cognitive decline or mild memory loss, these compounds may exacerbate confusion, delay reaction times, and interfere with sleep cycles. It's not just the smell. It's the chemical load your body absorbs through the skin and lungs. And when you consider that the average bath lasts 15–30 minutes in steamy conditions that open up your pores and increase skin absorption, the exposure is more intense than people realize. So, what's the alternative? Go fragrance-free, not unscented. Many unscented products still contain masking fragrances. Look for labels that say "no added fragrance" or are certified by organizations like EWG or Made Safe. Use pure essential oils sparingly. Oils like lavender, chamomile, and eucalyptus in their pure form can be calming, but they must be used in well-ventilated spaces and diluted properly. A drop or two in a full tub, not direct on skin, is safest. Choose products with fewer than 10 ingredients. The shorter the list, the lower the risk. Ventilate your bathroom. Open a window or use a fan during and after bathing to clear chemical vapors from the air. And remember, what smells relaxing now may be stressing your lungs, hormones, and brain in ways you don't feel until something serious happens. But the next danger isn't in the water or the air. It's what happens after the bath, when your body is most vulnerable and the bathroom becomes a hidden trap for fractures, trauma, and long recoveries. You step out of the bath. Your skin is warm, your muscles relaxed, maybe even a little wobbly. You reach for your towel, maybe turn just slightly to grab your robe, and that's all it takes. A moment of imbalance, one slippery foot, and suddenly you're on the floor, in pain, confused, unable to get up. For seniors over 70, a fall isn't just a minor mishap. It's often the beginning of a steep, frightening decline in health, independence, and confidence. Let's be crystal clear. Falls are the leading cause of injury-related death in adults over 65. The CDC reports that 1 in 4 older adults falls each year, and among those, more than 800,000 end up hospitalized, most commonly due to head trauma or hip fractures. But what many don't realize is just how many of these falls happen in the bathroom and why bath time is one of the most dangerous moments in a senior's day. The stats are alarming. In a study published by the Journal of Injury and Violence Research, more than 80% of bathroom-related falls in older adults occurred immediately after bathing or showering. That's no coincidence. Here's what's really going on. First, your body is physiologically unstable after a bath or shower. The warm water causes your blood vessels to dilate and your blood pressure to drop. When you stand up too quickly, especially from a seated tub, you may experience orthostatic hypotension, a sharp drop in blood pressure that can leave you feeling dizzy, weak, or even cause you to black out. This is further compounded if you're taking common medications like diuretics, which dehydrate you, beta blockers, which slow your heart's response, ACE inhibitors, which affect vascular tone. Together, these create a perfect storm, a body that's less able to regulate pressure, respond quickly to standing, or maintain balance on slippery floors. Then there's the environment. Most bathrooms are not designed for aging bodies. Tubs with high edges, slick tiles, no grab bars, loose bath mats, and poor lighting all conspire against you. And when your reflexes are slower, muscles weaker, and bones more brittle, even a small stumble can become a medical emergency. Let's look at a real case. Arthur, age 81, lived independently and walked daily. One evening, after a long, hot soak, he stood up, reached for a towel hanging just out of reach, and lost his footing. He broke his hip. What followed? Surgery, bed rest, rehab, but Arthur never fully recovered. He needed a walker, lost confidence, and eventually moved into assisted living. All from a 5-second slip. The psychological toll is just as damaging. After a fall, many seniors develop a fear of falling again, which leads to reduced activity, muscle loss, and even more balance problems. It's a vicious cycle. And here's something surprising. The fall doesn't have to be dramatic. Many dangerous post-bath falls begin as slow-motion events where someone feels faint, leans on a towel rack, which gives way, or slides while trying to step over the tub edge. The body's ability to self-correct is diminished in older age. If your ankle twists, your core isn't strong enough to stabilize. If you begin to tilt, your reaction time isn't fast enough to catch yourself, but these incidents aren't inevitable. In fact, most post-bathroom falls are preventable with a combination of environmental changes and body awareness tactics. Let's start with environmental safety. Install grab bars inside and outside the tub or shower. These should be securely anchored, not suction cup models. Use non-slip mats or adhesive grip strips on the floor and inside the tub. Make sure your towel and robe are within arm's reach so you don't twist or overextend. Use a shower chair if you tire easily or if standing for long periods makes you unstable. Improve bathroom lighting, especially at night. Motion sensor nightlights are excellent investments. Now let's talk about personal precautions. Always hydrate before bathing. Dehydration worsens blood pressure drops. Rise slowly. Sit on the edge of the tub for 30 seconds before standing. If you feel dizzy or lightheaded after bathing, stay seated until it passes. Never try to push through to get dried off. Avoid bathing when you're overly tired, hungry, or after alcohol consumption. Don't bathe alone if you've had any recent falls, blackouts, or near falls. Ask a loved one to check on you or stay nearby. A hidden danger few talk about is cognitive fog after bathing. For some seniors, warm water can temporarily reduce blood flow to the brain, leading to delayed reaction time and decision-making. You may not realize how unsteady you are until you're already falling. This is especially true for those with early dementia or mild cognitive impairment. Now let's add in one more wrinkle: humidity. High humidity in an unventilated bathroom not only makes surfaces slicker, but also stresses your body. Your heart and lungs must work harder to regulate your internal temperature. If your bathroom mirrors are fogging up, your body likely is too. So, is bathing too dangerous to enjoy? Absolutely not. But it's not the carefree act it once was in your 30s or 40s. After 70, it demands strategy, awareness, and preparation, because the risks are very real and the costs of getting it wrong are often permanent. You don't have to stop bathing. But you do need to start bathing smart, and that's exactly what we're going to show you next. Safe, doctor-approved bathing habits that help you relax your body without shocking your heart, unbalancing your hormones, or risking a devastating fall. You've heard the risks. Now here's the good news. You don't have to give up the comfort, calm, and healing that a bath can bring. You just need to update the routine to match the reality of your body after 70. What used to be relaxing can stay that way without risking your heart, hormones, or balance. Let's walk through the Safer Bath Blueprint, a doctor-informed, senior-friendly ritual that turns your bath from a hidden danger into a powerful wellness tool. Step 1. Choose the right time. The most important and most overlooked element is when you bathe. The ideal time for older adults is between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. Why? Because it gives your cardiovascular system time to recalibrate before bed, and it supports your natural circadian rhythm. Bathing too late raises your core temperature and heart rate just when your body should be winding down. This delays melatonin release, disrupts sleep, and leaves your blood pressure too high overnight. Evening baths, if done early, still promote relaxation, but without sabotaging sleep or stressing your heart. Step 2. Set the safe temperature. Keep your water between 95 degrees F and 100 degrees F. Any hotter, and you increase your risk of hypotension, dizziness, and cardiac strain. You can use a cheap bath thermometer, often available for under $10, to ensure you're in the safe zone. Remember, as you age, your skin may not feel heat as intensely, so what feels nice might actually be too hot. Stick to the numbers, not your instinct. Step 3. Prep your exit before you enter. Falls often happen because we don't prepare. Set up your post-bath routine before you get wet. Place your towel and robe within arm's reach at waist height or lower. Use a non-slip mat inside and outside the tub. Have a chair nearby to sit on while drying off. Ensure you won't have to twist, reach, or bend unexpectedly while your body is still adjusting. This alone can prevent the split-second mistake that leads to a serious fall. Step 4. Simplify what goes in the water. Say goodbye to heavily scented bubbles, bath bombs, and gels, especially those with long ingredient lists. Instead, choose unscented or fragrance-free products certified by groups like EWG, Made Safe, or the National Eczema Association. If you love scent, try 1-2 drops of pure essential oil like lavender or chamomile, but only in a well-ventilated room and always diluted. Avoid any product that lists fragrance or parfum as a catch-all ingredient. Those may contain phthalates, parabens, or other hormone disruptors that accumulate in the body over time, and the effects are even stronger when absorbed through warm, open pores. Step 5. Support your body's circulation. Your bath should support your circulation, not sabotage it. Here's how. Drink a full glass of water 15-20 minutes before you bathe. This stabilizes blood pressure and keeps your vascular system better supported during heat exposure. Sit upright in the tub, not fully submerged for long periods. Limit your soak to 15-20 minutes max. When you're done, stand up slowly. Sit on the edge of the tub for 30 seconds before standing. This gives your blood pressure time to adjust and reduces dizziness. Step 6. Use the bathroom as a safe zone, not a hazard. Think of your bathroom like you would a kitchen with a sharp knife, something useful but not without risks. Make a few upgrades. Grab bars, one inside the tub/shower and one outside for exit support. Shower chair or bath bench. These aren't signs of frailty. They're smart tools for aging powerfully. Raised toilet seat. If your balance is already compromised, even sitting can become risky. Good lighting. Use motion-activated night lights if bathing or using the restroom at night. Step 7. Pay attention to how you feel afterwards. A safe bath doesn't leave you groggy, flushed, or dizzy. After bathing, you should feel relaxed, but clear-headed and steady. If you're feeling drained, lightheaded, or need to sit immediately, that's a warning sign. Keep a journal of how you feel after bathing, especially if you're on medications like beta blockers or blood pressure pills. Share those notes with your doctor. Small details can signal bigger cardiovascular concerns. Step 8. Make it a ritual, not a risk. Once you have your routine dialed in, turn it into a healing ritual. Add soft music, dim the lights, light a beeswax candle, not synthetic ones with artificial scent. Make your bath an intentional act of wellness, not just a hygiene routine. When done safely, a bath can lower cortisol, reduce muscle stiffness, and even ease joint pain. But the safest bath is one that respects the realities of an aging body. You're not 40 anymore, and that's not a weakness. It's wisdom. You've earned the right to treat your body like it matters. And here's the best part. When you follow this blueprint, you don't just avoid danger, you gain energy, better sleep, more confidence, and a body that's less prone to the next fall or health scare. But don't just take our word for it. Up next, we'll hear from real doctors and real seniors who learned the hard way, and the small, smart choices they made that changed everything. Behind every warning, there's a story. Behind every tip, there's a person who learned the hard way. That's why this next segment isn't about statistics or science. It's about real seniors, real doctors, and real consequences. Because when it comes to bath-related health risks, nothing speaks louder than experience. Let's start with Dr. Marcus Ellery, a geriatric physician with over 30 years in practice. He's treated hundreds of seniors who have fallen, fainted, or landed in the hospital, many from seemingly harmless routines. The scariest cases, he says, aren't the ones involving extreme behavior. They're the ones that began with an ordinary bath. One of his patients, Dolores, was 80 years old and lived alone. She was active, mentally sharp, and fiercely independent. Her nightly hot soak was sacred, a way to ease her aching hips. But one evening, she stood up too quickly after a 30-minute soak. The dizziness hit hard. She slipped trying to grab the towel rack and fractured her femur. After surgery and months in rehab, Dolores never regained her full mobility. It was the most ordinary moment, she later said, but it changed everything. Dr. Ellery now includes a bathing risk check in his annual wellness visits. If a patient tells me they bathe alone at night with hot water and no grab bars, I flag them for high fall risk, he explains. It's as critical as asking about smoking or diet. Then there's Henry, a 77-year-old veteran who had always preferred evening showers. He believed they helped him sleep. What he didn't realize was that those 10:30 p.m. showers were subtly keeping his blood pressure elevated at night. He started experiencing heart palpitations in the early hours of the morning, waking up gasping and sweaty. After his doctor suggested a blood pressure monitor, the pattern became clear. His body was failing to dip at night. The late showers were the culprit. Henry shifted his routine, showers now at 6 o'clock p.m., cooler water, and a 20-minute wind down after. Within a week, the palpitations stopped. I never would have guessed my shower was messing with my heart, he said. It was like I was winding my body up, not down. Another case, Mina, age 74, who used lavender-scented bath salts every night. They made her feel peaceful until she started noticing fogginess in the morning and shortness of breath after bathing. Her daughter, a nurse, took a look at the label. It was packed with artificial fragrance compounds and stabilizers. Once they switched to an unscented Epsom salt and cut the bath time in half, the symptoms disappeared. I thought I was pampering myself, Mina admitted. Turns out I was slowly poisoning myself. These aren't isolated incidents. In a 2021 survey conducted by the National Council on Aging, 1 in 3 adults over 70 reported feeling dizzy or lightheaded after bathing at least once in the previous year, yet only 8% had ever mentioned it to a doctor. The problem: most seniors dismiss these episodes as normal aging. But as Dr. Ellery warns, by the time you notice something feels off, your body's already been sending signals. Faintness, fogginess, even just needing to sit down after bathing, these aren't trivial. They are warnings. And yet, with a few simple shifts, many of these stories could have ended differently. Take Clara, 81, who was prone to dizzy spells. Her doctor suggested she try using a shower chair and lowering the water temperature. She was skeptical until she realized she could bathe safely without that faint, foggy feeling afterwards. "I didn't lose my independence, I gained peace of mind," she said. Or Jorge, 79, who lived with mild cognitive decline. His daughter noticed he was becoming more confused after his evening showers. Once they moved his bathing time to the afternoon and added a non-slip bench, his clarity improved. "It's like he got 30% of his brain back," she said. "We thought it was memory loss, it was just stress on his system." Even caregivers have their stories. Linda, who cared for her aging father, said this: "Once I learned about post-bath hypotension, I stopped letting him bathe alone. We installed grab bars and moved his routine to earlier in the day. It probably saved his life and definitely saved us from a lot of ER visits." These stories serve one purpose: to remind you that your bath routine is not trivial. It's not just self-care, it's health care. When you're over 70, small details become big decisions, so if you've ever thought it's just a bath, what's the big deal? Remember Dolores. Remember Henry. Remember Mina. These are smart, capable people who weren't being reckless. They were doing what they'd always done, without realizing their bodies had changed. You may not feel vulnerable, but your body is, and that's why prevention matters more now than ever before. Coming up, a final surprise you've probably never considered: how one common towel placement habit increases fall risk, and how changing it could be the easiest fix of all. You might think you've done everything right: safe water temp, early evening bath, no slip mats. But there's one tiny detail almost no one thinks about, and it's a major trigger for bathroom falls: your towel placement. That's right. Simply reaching too far, twisting sideways, or looking up for a towel after bathing can throw off your balance when your blood pressure is low and your muscles are relaxed. In a study of post-bathroom falls in seniors, over 35% involved reaching or twisting, often for a towel hung too high or too far. The fix: always place your towel at waist level within one step, directly in front of you. Better yet, have two towels, one for inside the tub and one for outside. No twisting, no lunging, no danger. It seems like nothing, but it's the small things that keep you on your feet and out of the ER. Let's bring it all together, because the truth is, the habits we don't question are often the ones that hurt us the most. You've just learned how 3 common bath routines, hot soaks, late-night showers, and scented soaks, can silently raise your risk of heart attack, blood pressure crashes, hormone disruption, respiratory stress, and dangerous falls. These aren't rare or freak accidents. They're patterns happening to thousands of older adults every year, and most of them never see it coming. Habit #1: long, hot baths. They feel amazing, but they dilate blood vessels, drop blood pressure, and overwork aging hearts. A quiet soak can become a cardiac event in minutes, especially when mixed with medications or dehydration. Habit #2: bathing too late. Late-night showers confuse your body's natural rhythm. They elevate core temperature, block melatonin, and disrupt the critical blood pressure dip your heart needs to recover while you sleep. Habit #3: using scented bath products. What smells relaxing can actually be a chemical cocktail. Phthalates, synthetic musks, and aerosolized compounds interfere with hormones, lungs, and even brain function, especially when steam helps them travel deeper into your system. The good news: you have total control over all 3. By lowering your water temp, shifting your bath time earlier, choosing fragrance-free products, and preparing your exit before you step in, you're protecting your heart, your balance, your brain, and your future. You don't need to fear your bath, but you do need to respect it. And now, you know how.